Welcome back for another video, everybody. If you're new, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe so you get more content coming from me. This is your boy, the Finesse Monster. What a treacherous day in the market today. Dow tumbles 1,200 points for worst day since June 2020 after hot inflation report. CPI data got released today, consumer price index, and it was not good. It had stocks just jumping off cliffs today throughout the whole entire market. It says stocks fell sharply on Tuesday after a key August inflation report came in hotter than expected, hurting investor optimism for cooling prices and a less aggressive Federal Reserve. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slid 1,276.37 points, or 3.94%, to close at 31,104.97. The S&P 500 dropped 4.32% to 3,932.69, and the Nasdaq Composite sank 5.16% to the end of the day at 11,633.57. The August Consumer Price Index report showed a higher than expected reading for inflation. Headline inflation rose 0.1% month over month, even with falling gas prices. Core inflation rose 0.6% month over month. On a year-over-year basis, inflation was 8.3%. The CPI report was an unequivocal negative for equity markets. The hotter than expected report means we will get continued pressure from Fed policy via rate hikes, said Matt Perrin, Director of Research at Janus Henderson Investors. It also pushes back any Fed pivot that the markets were hopeful for in the near term. So why does this affect Mullen stock? Because it is a narrative for the short sellers to use to drive the stock price down and keep us in these ranges or lower, try to get people to sell out of their position. We also see that shorts borrowed 10 million shares prior to this data being released, which makes it seem like they knew what was coming. Most of the market took a beating today as expected in this choppy month of September. As I told you guys, this is a month that most of the big players in the game are going to be selling off of their losing positions in this month. As I said before, this month is known for being the one of the worst or selling months out of the whole year, based off history. So there's a lot of fear in the broader market at this time. Look at iBorrowDesk recent data information. You'll see that shorts have been borrowing in the tens of millions now to short against Mullen Automotive. By looking at the shares borrowed chart, you'll see that this level of borrowing is the most that it has been in this particular time frame. And you'll see that in the past that when they were borrowing close to this range, we'll see that Mullen had some big spikes in prices as well. And that heavy borrowing has been coming right before a big move. Another thing I wanted to mention is the cost distribution chart from September 1st and also September 12th. On September 1st, you'll see that there is a lot of volume of shares traded at these average prices, versus looking at September 12th, you'll see that the volume in the shares traded at the average prices is a lot lower. That is kind of questionable to me. Seems like maybe the institutions were trading Mullen a lot at those beginning of September and not so much now. That is a question that I need to look further into. Let me know what y'all think on that. And let's get into how the chart is looking for Mullen Automotive. Let's take a look at the daily chart on Mullen. You'll see right back here when we had this volume on Mullen Automotive, when it went and reached a low of 52 cents per share, we saw spikes up to as high as $4.18. We're seeing some of the same amount of volume coming in right down here where we stand today volume is picking up overall. If you look up and view zoom out and look at the overall view, you see volume is picking up again. We also saw volume pick up here in the middle, and that's when we had some pushes up here in the past. Also, back when Mullen was trading at the $15 range, you'll see that the momentum down here has spiked up along with the price, leading up to the $15 per share, and then a sharp decline in the momentum, followed by a decline in the stock price as well. And if you look at the correlation going towards where we are at this current level here, where volume is picking up, you'll see that momentum has steadily climbed following that fall from $15 per share and has leveled out ever since. Hasn't moved up or hasn't moved down really. Another thing to keep in mind is that looking at the weekly chart, we'll see that on the MACD, we've stayed in the green this whole entire time on all the pushes down that we've been having over the past month and some change. We've stayed in the green on the MACD this whole time, like it's awaiting a push to the upside, as well as the momentum staying up as well. So that's kind of interesting there, and we'll see that it is consolidating in this downtrend. So hopefully that's what we're waiting on to push out of this downtrend overall. In all honesty, zooming out, it's looking like the same pattern pretty much. You'll see a spike in price with some choppiness after a spike in price, then falling trend down, then a breakout of that falling trend, spike in price, some choppiness, then falling trend pattern. So it's kind of looking similar if you zoom out. You got the MACD pushing over here with heavy volume, as well as here. And looks like it, hopefully with this volume coming in now, it looks like it could be another push to the upside that everyone's most likely waiting on. Now going into tomorrow, we may see some continuation of selling pressure following the CPI data that was released. The short sellers definitely took advantage of today, using that as a negative narrative to push stock prices down overall in the market. So I'm looking for tomorrow morning to be continuation of selling pressure, possibly going down to test 52 cents per share again, and then push back to the upside. That's what the hour chart is looking like, curling up on the MACD, as well as the 2-hour chart. We could see as well, could possibly get a break to the upside.
Go. Blessed in abundance. Look who raised from the dungeon. Still come through